Media.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Tabruggi, and joining me, as usual, Mr. Derek Rellifer down there in Arizona. How's everything going down there?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Still fighting a cold, but doing better.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're. We have a cold going through our house. My kids have been having a pretty productive cough for about 3 weeks now. The thing is they're not sick other than that though. They don't cough all day. Maybe every 20 minutes they'll cough, and it sounds like they cough some stuff up, but then it's nothing. Like crickets, they're fine. So I don't think it's COVID or anything. And but they've had this lingering cough for 3 weeks now. So we might have to take them to the doctor just to make sure it's nothing crazy. But I'm starting to get a little sniffly. But yeah, hopefully I'm not gonna get the big COVID right now. I'm not wanting to do that.
After last week's show, the day after the show we did last, I got down sick, and I was sick the remainder of the week. I was tested for COVID twice, both negative. So I was thankful for that. So
right.
The strep culture came back negative also, so I didn't have strep. So, which I've never had strep throat day in my life. So,
right.
But
yeah, it's crazy out there, man. A lot of people are sick right now. Thankfully, most of the people I know that are sick right now, it's not COVID. So
yeah, they told me there's a lot of viruses going around right now. So
yeah, starting to be, everything's starting to cool off a little bit. So this is kind of that part of the year when people start getting sick with other stuff anyway. So everybody just got to keep washing your hands and all that stuff. And yeah, we'll try our best to stick around here.
Looks like I've got some comments going on there.
Go ahead. I'm actually deleting old episodes from our archive.
Lori Hayes from Hayes. How you doing, Lori? And Carrie from McPherson. How you doing, Carrie? And Kelly, yes, my favorite place. Thank you, Carrie. We're glad you're here tonight. Chris is here. Good evening, Chris. Shanna from Hutch. How you doing, Shanna? And Roxanne Fisher-Jackson from Southeast Oklahoma. How you doing, Roxanne? Trisha's here from YouTube.
Yay.
Shanna Johnson. Hi, cuz. Brandy Hernandez. And let's see here. Kim Torska from Kansas. And let's see, we got Ellen Dodson from Leavenworth, Jeannie LaRue from Oskaloosa, Brianna from Hutch. Kelly says she's congested right now. I didn't have that part yet. And Jeannie says, take care of yourself. I'm trying to do the best I can.
Everett.
And hello from Everett, Kansas. I'm not even going to try to say your first name because I'm afraid I'm going to butcher it.
Yeah, right.
How you doing? And Kim from Newton. Hey, Kim. And Mondi's in the house. How you doing, Mondi?
Mondi. What's up, Mondi?
Yeah. And K. Roy from Northwest Kansas. Jason Pfeiffer. Hello, guys. How you doing, Jason? Sandra Ochoa Westover from Ulysses,
Illinois.
Oh, okay. Tanya, how you doing, Tanya?
Oh yeah, I think her name says Tanya and kids.
Okay, gotcha. Shannon Marie from Tonganoxie, and Mary from Northeast Kansas. Strong presence in the house tonight. Welcome everybody that's here.
A lot of folks.
All right.
Well, hey guys, hope you're doing. I'm doing great, Mondi. Today's my Friday. I went to work today. I crushed it at work. We have somebody at work that's I'm always looking up to as a salesperson, and today I beat him for the first time. So cool. I was stoked. Today's good, and then tomorrow and the next day I'm off, so I'm gonna work on stuff and get some phone calls made. We make a lot of phone calls to police departments
Yeah.
And making sure we're, if we need to update these flyers and stuff. And I actually, I was looking through some older ones, and sadly, I didn't have one located safe on like the 10 people I called. Everybody was still missing, and I
Wow.
called some older ones. So, and I have those in a flyer, not for tonight. We have a ton of cases to get through tonight, but next week we're gonna feature some of those on the Tuesday show, since it's a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
We're gonna feature some of those cases.
Got Christine Anderson in the house from Olathe,
Nice.
and Jeannie says she lost connection. That's not good. Hope
You
you
can
got it
also
restored.
view us
Okay.
on YouTube and Missouri Missing Unsolved. We are beaming hot and loud to all three right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, says it better not be. I better not be getting sick. I hope. Yeah. It's kind of going around. I think it's just, it's cooled off, and people are, it's just going to happen. Like, and I'm not worried about it. I just, be safe and wash your hands, and hopefully you don't get any of this crud going around, any of these sniffles and viruses, stomach viruses, and all the crap that's going around. It's no
Definitely.
good. Brandon said he had to refresh Facebook to get the Facebook Live back. So,
okay.
Let me just do this.
Oh boy. And we got quite the caseload tonight, plus a couple of big updates on a couple cases, and I want to go over those. And
yeah, well, let's go ahead and get into it. We got some people here in the house. We do appreciate everybody hanging out each week. Before we get to the first load of cases, I did want to point out we are going to have a video made for this by next week, but we didn't get it tonight. But there is a free 24/7 confidential national domestic violence hotline. You can go to www.thehotline.org, or you can simply call 1-800-799-7233.
right.
This is really important, folks. If you're a victim out there and you're being abused, or somebody who's being abused, don't become a statistic. Don't on both sides of that. Don't become somebody who loses their life because you can't get away from an abuser, and don't be somebody who loses somebody important to you because you couldn't get them away from an abuser. Right. So this is a good source for calling somebody. And like I said, if you're out there and you need help, and if you're not brave enough to call this number, message Kansas Missing and Unsolved Facebook page. We'll talk you through to getting in touch with a police officer or something.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm really going to start really making sure we talk about the domestic violence thing on the show too. I just lost a cousin last week to domestic violence. Her soon-to-be ex-husband shot her 5 times. So
yeah. And there was probably 1,000 warning signs that we as a society couldn't stop. So that's where we are going to say no more on our watch. It stops with us, and we're going to talk about that every week from now on, because we think it's very important. So for real, I'll put that up there one more time, 1-800-799-7233. Give them a call, and they can help you out of a crisis. You're watching the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. We will be right back after this.
If you or someone you know is a victim of human trafficking, please call the National Human Trafficking Line at 1-888-373-7888.
yeah, most definitely. All right, we're going to do it. Mr. Perez first.
Kelly says real quick, she says domestic violence is not a joke. There's a domestic violence support group. Lori Hayes from Hayes is in the house. She says, sorry for your loss. She says, I don't know if this is the actual group we'll tag in the video, but y'all can join it. Okay, so it's going to be called Domestic Violence Support Group. Cool. But also say you need a safety, and when you leave, because that's the most dangerous. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's not a perfect system. We do not have a perfect system figured out. I'm just saying maybe that phone number can save somebody's life. But again, we are not saying that we figured out how to stop domestic violence. That's just not a reality. We're just trying to help. And if anybody feels trapped, call that number. But yeah, go ahead and tell us about Mr. Perez. And I am so tired of we need to find Alexander. This is almost a year.
Yeah, he's missing from Ulysses, Kansas since December 1st of 2020. He's 35 years old, 5'11", 235 pounds, black hair that he shaves, just about bald, and brown eyes. He called the family member on December 1st and said he'd be coming over to do some laundry. He never arrived at that family member's home. He's not been heard from or seen since by friends or family, and he'd been staying with family or friends prior to his disappearance. Initially, it was thought that he may still be in the local Ulysses area, or he may be in Garden City or the surrounding area. But as we've talked about, some pretty bad information has surfaced as what may have possibly happened to him, but don't know for sure. Um, Again, he's 35, 5'11", 235. He has black hair that he shaves off nearly bald and brown eyes. Has a tattoo of a bumblebee on his face underneath his left eye. He has Perez tattooed on one of his arms, and he has a tattoo of a cross on a chain across his chest. If you have any information regarding Alexander's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Grant County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-356-3500 or the Ulysses, Kansas Police Department at 620-356-4600 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we cannot get some information generated to help bring him home. It's been nearly a year. We need to get him found and brought home. So, yeah. And let's see, we got a couple more comments there. Alexander is the new Megan Fogle song. Yeah. And Sandra says, been too long. And Carrie down here says she's still there. She's still running from her abuser, and she left him 5 years ago. So that's hopefully you can make a successful break from your abuser. God, I can't even get that word out tonight.
Well,
Sorry
we need to have our friend Janine Radke from Garden City. She's our friend over there, and she's a friend of Backbone Media. She actually she opened up about it on one of the episodes when she co-hosted with Ricky, but she was in a really going nowhere but death abusive relationship, and it took a gigantic plan to save her life. And nobody's saying this is easy. It's not easy. It took her, secretly making plans of people to drive, states away to come pick her up in the middle of the day when she could get out safe. And we need to have her come on and sort of just talk and give people some hope that, you don't have to live like that. You can try to, first things first, make a plan. But anyway, Alexander Perez, it's going to break my heart if we do a show in the first week of December and he's still missing, because I feel like, we've been showing this flyer every week, and we're not going to stop, but his family deserves to know something. We need to get some answers on this.
Definitely. I agree with you. They need some answers. They need some closure.
Yeah.
And Monty says something definitely sketchy in this case. Hope somebody will speak up.
Yeah.
And Kelly says, hope we find him sooner. And Monty says it's awful. No one deserves to be abused. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I agree. I definitely agree with that.
Well, this is turning into another one we've continued to cover weekly. Let's talk about Marcus Ray Bachmann.
Yeah, Trisha, we'll definitely get a post up with a domestic hotline on there. Yes.
We'll actually put up videos of all of our hotline videos we have, and we can put those on Facebook as well, so people can just share those. And it's just the audio of the phone numbers and then the flyer. We could do that too.
Right. Okay. Marcus Bachmann is missing from Shawnee County, Kansas on September 23rd, 2021. He was 34 when he went missing. He's now 35. He's 5'9", 200 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. He was originally from Frankfort, Indiana, but he has ties to Wabaunsee and Dickinson counties in Kansas. Last time he was seen around 10 o'clock in the evening on September 23rd, and he was seen walking at that time. He has a large tattoo on his right leg, which is a picture of a sketch of it up there, and a Superman emblem on his left leg. He has a surgical scar in the front of his head from having his cyst removed, and he has a history of huffing air dusters and alcohol abuse. He was last seen wearing a baseball-style hat, orange T-shirt, blue jeans, and black shoes, which is the outfit you see in the picture there on the right-hand side. In talking to his wife, she said he did call her from Colorado, and apparently he's working up there somewhere, but that has not been confirmed by law enforcement yet, so he's still considered missing until he does make contact with law enforcement. So if anybody has any information regarding Marcus's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Shawnee County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 785-251-2200 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't make sure that he is definitely safe and okay up there in Colorado.
Have we are we still talking to his wife pretty regularly, or?
I haven't talked to her actually in several days now, actually.
Okay. All right. Well,
so Kelly, if you're out there, give us some updates so we know what's going on.
Yeah, we need to get some information out there about that. This is another one that we're kind of covering some ones we've seen quite a few over the last few weeks, but we're going to keep covering Kenny Reichek too. This has just been way too long.
This one is pretty close to me. He's missing from here in Salina, Kansas since November 4th of 2019. So we're coming up on 2 years today, actually. He was 69 when he went missing. He's 71. He's 5'9", 175, gray hair and blue eyes. He suffers from diminished mental health capabilities, and he's on disability, but he has not tried to access his money since he was last seen. He's been known, actually, I got to correct this. He actually has lived in Salina for many years. I don't know why they say frequently visited, but he's lived here for a long time. He may have family in Northwest Kansas, possibly around Colby. He does not have a cell phone or a vehicle outside of a bicycle or any kind of identification. My understanding is he was evicted from his apartment, which actually sits catty corner from the police department here in town. And police took him out to the Gospel Mission, which is a homeless shelter for men, and dropped him off there. And my understanding was he was having an issue with another resident there. And so he left the mission. That was the last time he was actually seen. And nobody knows what happened to him after that.
I would love to talk to the resident who he had a problem with and be like, hey.
Yeah, me too.
What were you doing on November 4th?
Yeah.
Ricky, this happens a lot. And this is where you and I are kind of similar in the fact that I think on different degrees, you and I both believe in the spirit realm, whether souls and stuff like that. And I feel like these people talk to us. It happened with Michael Golub. It's happened several times. We'll pull a case. We're like, we just need to cover Kenny tonight, and then we find out on the show it's 2 years today. Yeah. So I mean, this is it. Like we were just talking about how heartbreaking it's going to be to see Alexander Perez after a year, but today's 2 years for Kenny. You gotta find this guy. Yeah.
And sometimes Kenny does use the last name Brown as opposed to his given name of Reichek. So,
well, my thing is this: you say no ID, no wallet, or anything. How was he able to? Because I know he got benefits somehow. Like, how was he? Was that just like a card they gave him, or?
He had 2 payees that were actually in charge of his money, and he would go to them and request money. But apparently, my understanding is they weren't the greatest at making sure he had money when he wanted it. That's why he was always going around town picking up scrap metal here and there and taking it to Salina Iron and Metal, and cashing that in for a few extra bucks here and there. And they've told me they haven't seen him in a very long time also.
So my understanding is that with Kenny, as far as he's concerned, it was probably a cash world. He came to these people, they gave him some cash.
Yeah.
So because part of the flyer that bugs me now that I think about it is you're saying he hasn't utilized any of his benefits, but how do we know that? Just because the people that held his money said, well, we haven't given him any cash lately, so he hasn't utilized his benefits, or are those benefits still being paid?
See, I don't know. That's a good question. Those kind of questions have never been actually answered. So
right. I mean, if you just read the flyer, it just straight up says, he doesn't have a wallet, he doesn't have an ID, but he's somehow not collecting his benefits. Well, how do we know? It's like you can't go collect benefits without an ID. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah. I don't know. The more I hear about this, I kind of feel like maybe Silver Alert might not be the best, but we don't know. That's just me. I just feel like, sometimes I worry that maybe something malicious went on here.
Yeah. So if anybody knows anything about Kenny, where he may be, or if you saw him around November 4th of 2019 or anything like that, give the Salina Police Department a call at 785-826-7210 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and let them know what information you do have, even if it's a small little piece of information you think may not be worth much, it may be worth a lot to the investigators that are looking for him. So, let's get it to them so they can see what they, figure out what happened to Kenny.
Kelly Uphoff says 2 years is too long for a senior to be missing. He deserves to be buried if
Yeah,
possible.
yeah,
Yeah. Dennis R. Rebel, check out his YouTube channel. What's it called,
yeah.
Ricky?
It's Muddy Waters Search and Recovery.
Check him out on YouTube. He's
Yeah,
doing great work over there. He says, hoping to make it out. What's that?
I was gonna say, it's actually because of Dennis that I'm doing one of the updates that I'm doing tonight because I happened to see his video covering it. So
Yeah, Dennis is
um,
doing God's work over there on YouTube, guys. Check him out. He says,
yeah,
hoping to make it out to search for Kenny soon. I would love to be there.
yeah,
Hannah Banana says, I feel like the shelter should have made an APS report. This sounds like self neglect. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Again, the guy's walking around without any kind of ID. The only reason anybody knows he's Kenny Rightcheck is because Salina is not that
Yeah.
big of a city. People probably just knew Kenny just like you did, just seen him around town,
Yeah.
But I just think it's the fact that it's the information on his flyer says, well, he hasn't used his benefits. And I'm saying, well, how is he getting those benefits? Because I would start
Yeah.
there. Crystal says that's really sad. Maybe
It is,
he
yeah.
didn't have a current ID. Maybe it may be expired. I don't know.
That's possible. That's possible.
You're awesome, Dennis. Thanks for hanging out with us every week, and thanks for making videos.
Yeah, thank you,
and
Dennis. I
helping
appreciate that.
helping try to find answers. Until he's confirmed deceased, would they continue to pay? That's what I'm thinking. Like,
Yeah.
what is the story on these benefits right now? I mean, if he's not deceased, if there's no death certificate, I don't see how they would stop payment on benefits.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and Dennis, I am a subscriber to your channel too, by the way, Dennis. So
And then she said maybe he's not in Salina anymore. I mean, that's a case. I mean, the guy, like I said, I keep saying the same thing over here. He doesn't have an ID. He could be anywhere and nobody would know,
Yeah.
especially if he was out of the Salina area and nobody knew who he was. That could be.
Yeah, initially it was thought that maybe he had gone to Wichita, but they haven't been able to confirm that or anything like that. So,
Irene, what's up? How you doing?
hey, Irene. Hey, we covered Alex a little bit ago.
We covered his flyer. We're still
Yes, we
hoping
did.
we hear something before December 1st.
Yeah, definitely.
You're welcome, Dennis. Anytime, buddy. We appreciate
You're
you coming
welcome,
by.
Dennis.
I wanted to go over some of here. It says Kay Roy says my mom died from a brain aneurysm 18 years after escaping her abuser. It was caused from weakness of blood vessels after 11 years of abuse.
Oh,
Don't
my,
wait,
that's
get
terrible.
out. And then Mondi says it's
Terrible.
awful and no one deserves to be abused. So yeah, I mean, and we're going to cover that every week. That's one thing that we're not cool with at all, and we're trying to be a part of the solution as best we can. Again, we don't know how to stop. I can't be in everybody's house and say I'm
Right.
against this, but I am against it. We're okay, Irene. We're just really
Doing all
hoping
right.
that we get some info before the 1st.
Yeah, me too.
She says, which means Mondi McPherson says, which means someone is not telling the truth in the annual report of how the funds are being spent. If they aren't spending the benefits, they would forfeit them.
Huh.
See, I'm just curious. I mean, that's my question. What's going on with those benefits, and why was that even mentioned in the flyer? Why was that?
Right.
Like he's
I
not
don't know.
collecting his benefits. Okay, well, he doesn't have an ID. So anyway, we got a lot of cases to cover. Let's talk about Aiden.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to conquer that last name, to be real honest. I'm going to go with Aiden Dobrevlowski.
That's what I would say.
Went missing from Wichita, Kansas on Halloween of this year. He's 16. He's 5'7", weighs between 120 and 130. Has dark brown or black hair and brown eyes. He left on his bike, and his bike is described as being beige or gold with black tires. He frequents the skate parks in Wichita and in Derby. Again, he's 16 years old. He's 5'7", weighs between 120 and 130. He has dark brown, black hair, and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Aiden's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9452 or 316-660-9456 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see if we can't get him found and back to where he needs to be. Definitely need to make sure he's safe.
That's a scary time to go missing on a holiday. Like
Yeah, on Halloween especially.
yeah,
Sheesh.
it's kind of spooky, man. Like it's just I don't know.
Yeah,
There's 364 other days I would rather, like that's just
right,
a spooky day, man.
right.
Yeah, well hopefully he's just maybe out seeing some friends or, you know, road trip that he didn't want to tell anybody about, something like that, but hopefully he's okay and hopefully he calls somebody soon and lets them know he's safe.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and talk about Charles Everett Mchenry. We've talked about Charles several times over the last,
Yeah,
year and a half. We got anything new about it, or we're just gonna?
just basically covering it. I don't have much new on it. I kind of updated his flyer as far as his age now and added some more photos and that kind of thing. But Charles Everett McHenry III went missing from Great Bend, Kansas on May 6th of 2016. He was 27 when he went missing. He would now be 33. He's 6'2", weighs 180 pounds, has black hair and black eyes. Let's see here. He went missing again May 6, 2016. He was last known to be driving an unknown make two-door black car away from a house in the 500 block of Northwest 20 Avenue between Hoisington and Great Bend. He has tattoos on his left arm. One is of the cross, and it says Tyler on his upper arm, and an eagle with the flag on the lower arm pictured above, and his eyebrow and left ears are pierced. He was last known to be wearing a black t-shirt and denim shorts. He has a large scar near his left knee, a large scar on his right arm from the elbow to the wrist, a scar on the right knee, a scar on the forehead, scars on both sides of his ribs, a scar on the bottom of his left foot, and a dimple dip in his left bicep. He has a plate in his right arm from elbow to wrist and 2 screws in his left knee. Wow. Um, from what I understand, there seems to be foul play thought to be involved in his case, which I don't know if that's been substantiated or proven, but the going theory is that foul play may be involved. So if anybody has any information regarding Charles's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Great Bend, Kansas Police Department at 620-793-4120 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get him located and found and brought home.
Right. Yeah.
Definitely.
Been too long.
Yeah.
And we got that KBI number just beaming at the bottom of the screen on all these Kansas
Yeah.
cases, and especially on this one. We definitely want you to consider the KBI on this next case. Let's
Oh,
talk about
yeah.
Colton Ross Pereira.
Okay. Let's see here. Colton Pereira is missing from Russell, Kansas on September 26, 2018. He was 17 when he was missing. He would now be 31. He's 5'9", 135 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. He disappeared from a skate park that he was dropped off at by a friend. He was supposed to call the same friend when he was ready to be picked up, but he never did. Originally, the authorities believed that he left of his own accord, but Colton's family doesn't believe this because he wasn't having any problems that would cause him to run away. He left his wallet and ID behind. Recent information suggests that Colton may have been killed and his body hidden. His case does remain unsolved. I'm going to dig up an additional number also here. If you have any information regarding Colton's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, call the Russell County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 785-483-2151 or KBI at 785-296-4017. And at his mom's request, she would also like people to also contact the field office of the FBI in Kansas City at 816-512-8200. She feels like they would be more beneficial to the case than Russell County or KBI at this point. So again, call the FBI's Kansas City field office at 816-512-8200 with anything you may know about Colton's case and see if we can't get him found and brought home.
Right.
His mom's been commenting pretty heavily on his flyer, and she makes no bones about the fact she believes he's dead. So,
I mean, this long.
yeah,
You kind of your mind has to kind of wonder there
yeah,
that long.
yeah, yep, 13 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, let me see. I hope somebody
Mhm.
contacts somebody, and there's a lot of
Yeah, I do too.
speculation and a lot of rumors and stuff, and I don't know. I feel like people people think that people like Colton and people that have been missing for several years, where you have a lot of rumors of them being deceased and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
people love running their mouth about Colton at parties. And what do you know? What do you heard? What do you know? But when the
Right.
police are around, they don't say a word.
Right.
And you got all of you that are guilty of that, which I used to be one of them. You're not doing anything to help. You're it's really, it's nice that you want to talk about Colton in closed doors when nobody's around, and but the thing is, Colton is not a party story. Like, he's a
Yeah.
person, and he needs to be found. And if you know something about this, you need to say something to the police, not to somebody to party. Say it to a police officer.
Yeah. Yep, Sandra's saying she has some company, so she's getting off for a little while. So thanks for all you do. I always share all the posts on the page I have on Facebook and manage. It's called Post Anything. I get a lot of shares also when I do. A way to get these flyers out there. Prayers for all the missing. We pray for answers for my nephew AJ. Until next week, guys. Well, have a good night, Sandra, and thank you for being here. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
And Vista says, "Good evening, everyone.
Hey,
I'm late
Vista.
once again." But at least you're here, Vista. That's the good thing.
We got half a show left to go.
Yep.
Let's talk about Damien.
Damien, it's Rivas or Rivas. I'm not sure which way to go with that. Rivas, probably. He is missing from Topeka, Kansas since November 1st of this year. He's 15. He's 5'6", 110 pounds. He has brown curly hair and brown eyes. It's believed he's still in the Topeka area. If you have any information regarding Damien's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9247 or 785-368-9200 or the KBI at 785-29641, 2964017, and see if we can't help get Damien brought home safe and sound. He needs to be brought home.
Right.
Yep. And Andrea Lynn Vian Toman is saying, "Hey guys, how you doing, Andrea? Thanks for being here."
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and talk about David Michael Bowers Jr.
Okay. According to my list, you might have skipped over one.
Did
David.
we?
Yeah. Lushbo.
Oh, I just haven't. They got switched around. Go ahead with, yeah. We'll just
Okay.
switch them.
I got Bauer. I got Bowers up, so we'll do Bowers. David Michael Bowers Jr. missing from Afton, Missouri since September 12th, 2021. He's 18. He's 5'10", 128. He has brown hair that is done in dreads with blonde and green tints and brown eyes. He's from Eldon, Missouri, and could possibly be in areas near Eldon. He was last seen wearing a white and black hoodie, jeans, and white tennis shoes. He has multiple scars on his arms. He has multiple tattoos, including an eye image on his right thumb and Homer Simpson in an unknown location. If you have any information regarding David's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call 911 immediately or call the Miller County, Missouri Sheriff's Office at 573-369-2341 or call the Missouri State Highway Patrol Missing Persons Unit at 573-526-6178, or they have a toll-free number, 800-877-3452, and see if we can't get David located and brought home and safe and sound, hopefully.
Right.
And actually, David was actually a request that was messaged to me and asked if I would actually cover him. So yep. Let's see if we can't get David found and brought home.
Right. You got any new comments? Oh no, these are just saying they hope you feel better soon.
Yeah. Irene
Um,
saying, here's a comment from Irene Perez saying, "I hope we do. KBI doesn't give any information again. I hate the wait. It's been too long. I appreciate everything you and everyone does for AJ's case." So you're very welcome, Irene. And hopefully, we're helping people, nudging them to give information that they do know. Hopefully we're putting the pressure on them. Say, hey, time to start talking.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, let's talk about Dennis Lesbo.
Okay.
Oh, no. Wait. Oh, no, you're okay. Right. Okay, that's right.
Okay, Dennis Lesbo Jr. is missing from Iola, Kansas since August 13 of 2017. He was 44 when he went missing. He's now 49. He is 5'6" to 5'8", weighs between 180 and 200 pounds, has dark brown hair and blue eyes. He was camping with his girlfriend off of Fort Road near the Neosho River outside of Chinook, Kansas. They had an argument, and Dennis left in his van. They found the van was found almost 2 weeks later, abandoned approximately 5 miles from where they were camping in a field on Arizona Road, close to Neosho County and Allen County on the Allen County side. Again, he was 44 when he went missing. He'd now be 49. He is between 5'6" and 5'8" inches tall, weighs between 180 to 200 pounds, dark brown hair and blue eyes. Has surgical scars on both shoulders and a tattoo on his right shoulder blade. He has a plate surgically implanted in his back. If you have any information regarding Dennis's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Allen County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-365-1400 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get some information generated as to, what may have happened to Dennis or where he may be so we can get him brought home.
Yeah.
He definitely needs to be brought home.
Iola, Kansas.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever been there.
I don't think I have either. To be honest.
We need to go on tour in Kansas sometime just to see all these towns.
Yeah.
Check into all of them.
And Irene says, God bless you all. Oh, God bless you too, Irene.
Mm-hmm.
And Kelly saying, bless everyone too. Thank you, Kelly. Bless you too.
Now, this is a case we've covered several times as well. This is going to be Dietrich Foster out of Independence.
Yep, he is missing from Independence, Kansas since April 12th of 2020. He was 37 when he went missing. He's now 39. He's 5'9", 190 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. He was reported missing on May 12th. He was last seen around April 12th in Independence. And that does make no sense. KBI agents and detectives from the Independence Police Department are conducting the case as a homicide based upon findings during the investigation into Foster's disappearance. At the time of his disappearance, again, he was 37. He's now 39. He's 5'9", weighs 190 pounds. He has black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Dietrich's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Independence, Kansas Police Department at 620-332-1700 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. There is also a governor's reward of $5,000 for information leading to an arrest and conviction of those responsible for the disappearance and suspected murder of Dietrich Foster. If, as I recall, we had comments last week on the show regarding Dietrich being murdered, and apparently it was over drugs, apparently, from the sounds of it. If I'm recalling that correctly. If I'm not, forgive me, but I think that's what they said. But hopefully we can help generate some information to help get him found and get him brought home. Because his family deserves closure, just like all these other ones that do that have been suspected of being killed.
And if being a decent person wasn't enough, there's 5,000 reasons to tell somebody about this.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's motivation. I mean, if that's what motivates you.
Yeah.
And you can be anonymous. You don't got to tell anybody your name. You can, write a letter and send it to the police department if you're that worried about it. Just tell somebody. Give them a lead. Give them something to search into.
Right.
Let's talk about Donovan Jones.
Alrighty.
Which, honestly, we have to talk about this for a second. Later, when we do the located safe video, Donovan's actually in there, but Donovan's not located safe anymore. Ricky will tell you all.
Yeah. He's missing from Paola, Kansas. He went missing again on October 29th of 2021. He's 17, 5'9", 135 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. It's believed that he may be in the Crossroads area in Kansas City or in the Overland Park, Kansas area. Again, he's 17. He's 5'9", weighs 135 pounds, has black hair, brown eyes. His ears are pierced. He frequently wears a black cap or a hoodie to cover his hair. If you have any information regarding Donovan's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Miami County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 913-294-3232, extension 128, or the KBI at 785-296-4017. But like Derek was saying, he was initially located safe, and then he had gone missing again a couple of days before Halloween. That's why we're covering him again, because he went missing yet again. So
Donovan, go home and sit still, and you're almost 18 and make good choices.
Yeah,
I know that sounds real corny coming from me who doesn't know anything about your life, but trust me, when you're 35 years old, you're going to call me up. I'll be really old by then. And you're going to be like, yeah, I'm glad I made good choice. I mean, I'm telling you, man, I'm 38 and I didn't always make great choices. And you pay for it when you get older. I mean, you're at a perfect time in life. I don't know a single one of my friends that wouldn't go back to their being 17 years old and do it all differently and do it right. So you have the choice right now to do it right the first time, and this just is not the right way, Donovan. And if you're running from something that's dark and you don't want to be there anymore for safety reasons, talk to the police, talk to somebody at school, talk to somebody. But this is not the answer. We need to know. So, I don't need to know where you are, but people need to know where you are. This is not the way to do it.
Definitely.
Vista says, I work in Iola.
Cool.
Harry says, if you know something, say something. And it says, you would like to think it would get to them eventually to know something has happened and you don't say anything. How do people live normal life? Why so many just want to, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of it's fear. People are scared to say stuff like that, but.
Right.
Let's talk about Dwayne Selby Grimes. This is going to be a big case.
I'm going to cover their flyer, and then I have an update on their case as well, and then we'll cover a couple other ones. They also are one's connected to them, one has not been confirmed whether it's been connected or not. Okay, Dwayne Selby and Jack Grimes are missing from Turley, Oklahoma since October 22nd of this year. Dwayne is 59, Jack is 76. They were last heard from on Friday, prior to October 20. Well, that would be October 22nd, when he and his friend Dwayne Selby, they were scheduled to head to a horse show in Fort Worth, according to the sheriff's office, and they never arrived there. Family members told the sheriff's office Jack always calls to let them know when he arrives at a horse show. He never called them to let them know that he arrived in Fort Worth. The pair were scheduled to return home, but never made it back. No one has been able to reach Jack or Dwayne since Friday. Jack requires medication to manage his diabetes. His family told the sheriff's office that they were traveling in a 2001 maroon four-door Ford Taurus that belonged to Jack, with Oklahoma license plate ETW 614, which has since been located abandoned in Mohawk Park in North Tulsa. The update on this is remains were found down there, and they were positively identified as being Jack Grimes's remains. So he has been located deceased, and his death has been ruled a homicide, so it's being investigated as such. Dwayne still has not been located. If you have any information regarding Jack Grimes and Dwayne Selby's disappearance, or Jack's subsequent murder now, or if you know of Dwayne's whereabouts, please call 911 immediately, or the Tulsa County, Oklahoma Sheriff's Office at 918-596-5600, and see if we can't help bring Dwayne home. And on the heels of that, I want to cover Dwayne's mother's flyer, who is Glenda Parton. And do you have her flyer handy dandy there?
It's up.
Okay. Glenda Cookie Parton, she's missing from Pryor, Oklahoma since October 25th, 2021. She's 80 years old. She was last seen with a man in a business in the Turley, Oklahoma area on Monday evening, who has since been identified and interviewed. Her vehicle was found abandoned on Highway 75 in the Turley area on Tuesday, and Pryor Creek police say they issued a silver alert for her on Wednesday. She had been in Turley looking for Dwayne and Jack, and of course we know what happened with Jack now. The pair were scheduled to return home from the horse show and never did. But if you have any information regarding Glenda's disappearance, you know of her whereabouts, please call 911 or call the Tulsa County, Oklahoma Sheriff's Office at 918-596-5600. And the photos of her in the purple outfit, that is what she was wearing when she went missing. So that's what you kind of want to be keeping an eye out for is that particular outfit. Let's see if we can help bring her home. And then there is a fourth individual that's missing from Turley. His name is Shannon Miller. If you want to pull him up, I will cover Shannon Miller.
Got him up.
Okay, he is missing.
Are you
from
telling me
Turley,
they're going to
Oklahoma
make
since
a movie
October.
about Turley someday? Because this is sounding just like crazy.
He's been missing since October 19th of this year. He's 39, 5'7", 180 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes. His girlfriend left for work that morning, and when she returned home, Shannon was gone. His car was found by her on October 21st at 106th Street North on the bridge over Bird Creek. Shannon's phone was found in the car by family members and by Shannon. His wallet was found with other belongings by the water. Again, he's 39, 5'7", 180 pounds, brown hair, and hazel eyes. He has multiple tattoos. If you have any information regarding Shannon's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Tulsa County, Oklahoma Sheriff's Office at 918-596-5600 and see if we can help bring Shannon home. So I know we've got people worried about him and looking for him as well. So hopefully we can get them all found. I mean, we know that Grimes has been found. He was found deceased and being investigated as a homicide.
Right.
So, which is a bad deal. Shannon's case is interesting because, like I said, they found the phone in the car, they found his wallet and other belongings down by the creek. So, I mean, we were kind of talking about it before the show, and that, brings to mind a few possibilities. I mean, he could have either, I don't know if he was suffering from any kind of depression or not. I've never seen any information to indicate that, but it's always possible that he could have decided to take his own life by jumping in, or he could have accidentally fell in.
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, could be any number of things, but hopefully he's safe and out there somewhere and get him found and brought home. I mean, it is strange. You have 4 people missing from the Turley area in less than a month. So actually within the span of less than a week, as he went missing on the 19th, Selby and Grimes went missing on the 22nd. And Parton, I got her flyer again, went missing on the 25th. So with just in a matter of a week, you have 4 people go missing. That is crazy. Let's see if we can't bring them home, folks. Let's get some information generated, share their flyers everywhere, let everybody know what's going on.
Okay. Well, so now we have Donovan Jones. We're going to talk. Oh no, we already did Donovan. Okay, now we're going to do Eli Hopkins Mitchell. Sorry about that. We got a little mixed up because I moved one of these.
Yeah, that's my fault because I wanted to try to cover those 3 flyers together since all from the same area.
Right.
And see, Eli, we've covered him in the past before, and he's missing again from Topeka since October 21st. He's 16. He's 6'1", 220, blonde hair, blue eyes. He's either believed to be in Jefferson, Jackson, or Shawnee counties in Kansas. If you have any information regarding Eli's disappearance, you know of his whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department, 785-368-9247 or 785-368-9200 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get him back to where he needs to be and safe and sound. So, and hopefully he's okay wherever he is. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And actually, I called Jason French. I called the Kansas City Police Department, and they how that process works, if anybody's curious, is you contact the numbers on the flyers basically. And, we were like, hey, is Jason French still missing? And they actually had, Kansas City's huge, and they didn't know who Jason French was off the top of their head. And they were really professional. They put me on hold for about 10 minutes. They went and dug through, databases and looked through stuff. And they said, yeah, he is still missing. So,
Wow.
this is just, that's not that long ago, but I mean, that's long enough to be like, okay, there's something going on here. Like, nobody's missing since May and hasn't been heard from. That's like not gone under some like, oh, well, he just went on a trip. Nobody knew. It's been too long for,
Yeah.
Jason forgot to tell us where he was going. Like, it's been too long, but anyway, let's talk about him.
And actually, we did have that happen with a gentleman here in Salina that went missing. Paul Danderan, he had been missing they had him listed as missing for a couple of years, and I had found out through emailing with a police officer here in town that he had actually checked himself into a nursing home and just didn't tell anybody. So, but Jason French, he went missing from Kansas City, Missouri on May 5th, 2021. He was 44 when he went missing. He's now 45. He's 5'10", 155 pounds, blonde hair, blue eyes. He was last seen in his home on May 4th of 2021. His car was found abandoned at Blue River Park on Blue Ridge Boulevard in Kansas City. Several searches of the area have been done with no sign of Jason. If you have any information regarding Jason's disappearance, you know of his whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department's Missing Persons Unit at 816-234-5136 or 816-234-5000 and see if we can't get him brought home and where he needs to be.
Right.
Yep. And Roxanne says, somebody knows something about every case shown. Please call Crime Stoppers. They will not ask your name. Help the families of these people. Good point, Roxanne. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Jason's got people that are missing. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Well, let's talk about Johanna.
Okay.
Kismet. That's right around my old stomping grounds.
Yeah. That one just come up today. And she's missing, like I said, from Kismet, Kansas since November 3rd, 2021. Doing her flyer, that's the first time I ever heard of Kismet. So she's 16. She's 5'4", 120 pounds, dirty blonde hair and green eyes. She was last seen on the night of November 3rd when she went to bed. If you have any information regarding Johanna's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Seward County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-309-2000 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get her brought home safe and sound. Right. I know she's got family worried about her and looking for her, and mom's even offering a reward for information to bring her home. So, and she does have freckles on her face, neck, and arms. So there's it's a little bit of additional information. See if we can't get her brought home.
Right. And we've covered this one, Linda Dillard Kleinbell. You said you had some.
Yep, I got some information on that one, and like I said, it was some attention from watching Dennis's video on it. And I'll cover the initial flyer, and then I'll cover the update. She's missing from Table Rock, Nebraska since June 16, 2021. She's 55, 5 foot tall, 130 pounds. She's got brown hair, possibly dyed blonde or wearing a wig. She walks with a cane and has a medical condition that makes it difficult for her to walk long distances. She was last believed to be on foot and is missing under suspicious circumstances. Let's see here. Linda was believed to be wearing a tight white tank top, jean shorts, and brown sandal boots. As part of the investigation, Nebraska State Police has recovered those clothes and has learned that she may be wearing a black t-shirt, black DK NY boxer brief shorts, and brown Birkenstock type sandals. Now the update via Dennis. Thank you, Dennis, for that. Come on. Trying to get to this article here. And it's going to be stupid. Hang on a second.
You got it.
Hang on. All right. knocked me out of it, so I got to pull it back up again.
Oh, you're good. We like that. We appreciate Dennis putting that
Apologize.
effort out there.
Yeah. See if it'll let me do it now. Here it's from the journalstar.com in Lincoln. New details are emerging in the disappearance of a 55-year-old woman last seen. It's going to kick my butt back to the homepage again.
What?
Okay. That's okay. I got it somewhere else. I can read it. I put it somewhere where I have it in its entirety. So give me just a minute here.
You're good. You're good. We got this.
I apologize, folks. I apologize.
Live broadcasting, folks. This happens.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Okay. Okay, new details are emerging in the disappearance of a 55-year-old woman last seen in rural Table Rock on June 16th. The search for Linda Dillard started 4 days later when her ex-husband reported her missing. In search warrants filed in Lincoln and Pawnee, Nebraska State Patrol investigator Amanda DeFries said Dillard had left her home near Fairbury the weekend before her disappearance to visit friends in the Falls City area. She and a friend drank at a bar in Salem on June 12th, a Saturday, then visited an acreage near the Table Rock State Wildlife Management Area and joined a group drinking in Table Rock the next day. DeVries said investigators believe the group went back to the farmstead and smoked meth. Dillard never was seen again. When family went to the farmstead and asked to look around, they found the wig she'd been wearing in a bathroom. DeFries said after Dillard was reported missing, Pawnee County Sheriff's deputies searched the property and found the clothes that belonged to her. DeVries said the man who lives there told investigators Dillard walked away about 3 o'clock in the morning on June 16th after accusing him of sexual assault. He later said a friend picked her up and they drove away, according to the documents. State Patrol investigators say they learned that early June 16th, Dillard had a verbal disagreement or confrontation with the man at the farmstead, and she called her ex-husband to pick her up. When Dillard's ex-husband got there the next morning, the man said she had left. Family have expressed concern for Dillard's safety. She suffers from hip dysplasia that limits her mobility, making them skeptical she would have left on foot. She doesn't have a driver's license or a car. Family members also don't think she would have left her wig behind. Since then, she hasn't used her cell phone or posted to social media accounts. When law enforcement tried to ping her phone, it was turned off or dead. And the 4 people believed to be the last to see her alive early June 16th have given conflicting statements, DeFries said. One of them was on video using Dillard's Cash App account in Humboldt that weekend. Due to the circumstances surrounding the disappearance of Linda Dillard, as described, investigators suspect that she may have been the victim of a crime to include theft, assault, kidnapping, and or murder, she said. DeFries said a woman who lived in a camper on the property, one of the 4 allegedly told someone she had helped hide the body. She was arrested on unrelated charges. The man who owns the farmstead also is now facing drug charges after a search there on July 22nd allegedly turned up methamphetamine, ketamine, and I'm not sure if I'm going to say this one right, Caresperdal, a muscle relaxer, according to court records. While conducting surveillance before serving the search warrant on July 22nd, law enforcement saw a Ford Expedition back up to the home and the woman unload what appeared to be cleaning supplies and rags before she and another man who lived there uploaded a piece of carpet into the SUV and drove to a home in Schubert. Investigators later got a search warrant and seized 2 rugs from that home. No one has yet been charged in connection with Dillard's disappearance, and her body hasn't been found, despite multiple searches by law enforcement. Nebraska Crime Stoppers is offering a reward of up to $1,000 for information in the investigation. Anyone with information on her disappearance, you can call the Richardson County, Nebraska Sheriff's Office at 402-245-2479 or the Pawnee County, Nebraska Sheriff's Office at 402-852-2969 or by calling Nebraska Crime Stoppers 800-422-1494 or go to the Nebraska Crime Stoppers website or the P3 Tips mobile app and see if we can't get this, get her found and back home. And so if she was indeed in fact murdered, she can be laid to rest.
You just said a mouthful, my friend. That is a big
Yes,
update. Thank you, Dennis.
Yes, it was. Yep, thank you, Dennis. Unfortunately, we're looking at a spring ID. Linda Dillard hasn't been located by then. We will be going up to search. Hopefully, she will be found before then. Well, hopefully she will be, Dennis. Hopefully she will be. But if not, hopefully, you'll get the job done up there. If not. So
We got Farmington, Missouri in the house.
Yep. Yep. Vista definitely does not sound good. Definitely does not sound good at all.
Yeah, Candace saying we were talking about Kismet earlier. That is really cool. I lived in Kismet. I wrote one of my favorite songs I ever wrote when I was living in Kismet.
I don't even know where that is.
It's right out. It's about 7-8 miles, maybe 15 miles. I think like northish of Liberal, Kansas.
Yeah.
I did not have fun living there. There was nothing in that. There used to be a gas station, but it might be one now. But when I lived there, I drove up to it one day and it was like closed. And I was like, for how long? And they're like, oh, it's been closed for years. You have to go to Liberal if you want anything. I was like, oh man.
No,
so
wow.
I didn't stay long, but we got a couple more to get through here, guys. We're running out of time, but we're gonna go ahead and finish this show. We have Michael Little here. Let's talk about Michael Little.
Alrighty. He is missing from Topeka since October 17th of 2021. He's 19 years old. He's 5'8" to 5'9", weighs 200 pounds, has dark brown hair and brown eyes. He's driving a silver 2004 Buick Century. If you have any information regarding Michael's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9247 or 785-368-9200 or KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get him found and brought home.
Right.
Yep, I agree with you, Diana. She says, pray she is found in one way or the other. She needs to be found. So sad. Yep, it definitely is.
Emma's here.
Yep, I'm super late, but I'm here. Yeah. Well, glad you made it.
What about Michael Leon Acock? We've covered this one a couple times.
Yeah, I just updated his flyer, added another photo to it, but he's missing from Walton, Kansas since May 30th of 2017. He was 42 when he went missing. He would now be 47. He's 5'10", 160 to 180 pounds, black hair that's receding, and brown eyes. He left a residence home to meet someone at a condemned house in Walton, has not been seen or heard from since. He has a gray and black mustache and mostly gray beard, thick eyebrows. He has restricted movement of his left arm due to a car accident. He is also without his medication. He has a tattoo on his left bicep with barbed wire, a tattoo on his back left shoulder of the word hot shot, and a tattoo on his forearm, unknown which one, of a skull with flames. If you have any information regarding Michael's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Harvey County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 316-284-6960 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get him located and back to where he needs to be. Definitely. He's been missing for a little over 4 years now.
Yeah. Diana says I was super late too. Tina Woodworth says, found your channel only just. Well, thank you for stopping by, Tina. We're here every week.
Cool. Yep.
This is always late.
Well, Tina, do me a favor and share that channel, please.
Yeah.
And subscribe to it if you haven't already.
Yeah, we're getting ready to show the beautiful located safe video Brandon constructed this week. So you might want to share this out so we can get some people in here. Yep. Prayers for all the families for sure, yep. Kim. Thanks for stopping.
Looks like we've still got 2 more to do yet.
Yeah, let's talk about Rosin Fowler.
All right. This was another one that was messaged to me and asked if I would get a flyer up and going for. Missing from Wichita, Kansas since October 19th of 2021. He's 16. He's 5'9", weighs 220 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. It's believed he may still be in the Wichita area. If you have any information regarding Rosen's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9452 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get him brought home and found safe. Definitely
pretty young, buddy.
Safe. Yeah. Tina says she's appreciating the drama-free approach. Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
If you're watching this, is it Rosen or Rosin, do you think?
I'm probably Rosin. I said
That's
Rosen, but it's probably Rosin, probably. I'm not sure.
If you're watching Rosin, you're so close to being 18. Like I say usually to all the people that are a little younger, might seem rough now, and it could be rough. If you're experiencing something rough and you can't be where you were before because it was dangerous, you need to tell the police or tell a teacher, tell somebody. But just right now you're 16, you're almost 18. But the trick is to start making good choices now. And you're not going to do that to please me. You're not going to do that to please society. You're really going to do, Rosin in 15 years a couple of favors if you just make some good decisions, keep your head in the game, and figure out what you want to do with your life. It does get easier, and high school's not forever.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we got one more case before we get to our located safe video tonight. Let's talk about Malachi Rogers.
Okay, he's missing from Wichita, Kansas since October 18th, 2021. He's 17. He's 6'3" to 6'4", weighs between 200 and 230 pounds, brown hair and blue eyes. It's believed that he may be traveling to Texas and or California. If you have any information regarding Malachi's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9452 or 316-263-6011. or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And definitely want to make sure we get him found and brought home. If anybody has any connections within like Truckers Against Trafficking or any of the missing persons trucker Facebook pages or anything like that, please get his flyer over there onto those pages as well. See if we can help get him found. I know they're really looking for him. I also know he's been commenting on his flyer as well. So yeah, he knows his flyer's up and out there. He's definitely been commenting.
And the thing is, when younger people, if you are watching this show and you do kind of, do some dangerous activities as far as being out around people that you don't know, I think a lot of people probably don't even realize they've been trafficked until well into it, because you feel like you're just a part of a crew. You feel like you're on a team. People finally understand you, but you're kind of too far in whenever you realize, like, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea. Maybe these people are, taking advantage of me. But
I don't believe he's being trafficked, but I just want to make sure that the truckers' Facebook pages and stuff like that are running his flyer because it's felt like that, they could be the biggest help with him right now.
And we do have the human trafficking hotline number scrolling at the bottom of the screen. If anybody, if sees anything that's scary, 1-888-373-7388. But that's going to be our caseload tonight. We have a brand new located safe video coming at you. Thanks to Brandon Smith, who chose to just sit there and eat cereal while we did the show and make me starving. So at least I didn't miss the best part, the located safe reel. Thanks again for all you do. God bless you to all the family. Thank you, Diana.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after this.
All right. Awesome. I always like to see those.
They're fun to make.
Yeah.
It's always good when I'm like, I think we might have too many. It's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trisha. Thank you
for
out with us tonight. Did you guys hear about the little girl that was located in Australia alive, Cleo Smith?
Yes, I did. I was trying to follow that one a little bit. She had went missing from a campground, and they found her in an abandoned house. And I guess they do
Wow.
have a person of interest in custody,
Wow.
or in
I
for
mean,
questioning at the very least.
well,
So,
I'm sure whatever she had to go through was terrible,
yeah.
but it's always nice to hear that somebody's alive,
Yes.
Well, interestingly, the pictures they showed of her after they found her, she's all smiles.
Really?
So
I mean, I don't know, man. You get close like that, you know, somebody may have potentially abducted you, and then you see,
Yeah.
your folks again. I'd be like, wow, I'd be
Yeah, I'd
excited.
be pretty happy myself.
Yeah.
No.
Hopefully she's back with her family, and they're giving her tons of hugs and kisses tonight.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah.
It's really easy to do too. I don't know what the situation there was, but I was watching Unsolved Mysteries. They put out two new seasons on Netflix, and they were doing that one where there was two women in the Chicago area that had their children snatched from them while they were at the same playground, like a month apart.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've been to the park. There was a huge political rally going on at this park, and there was 1,000 people there. It was pre-COVID. And we got there, and my kids both took off running, and I lost my 5-year-old for about 3 or 4 minutes, and I was the scaredest I've ever been. And it was just he wasn't lost. He was just in the sea of people, and he wasn't old enough to understand that when I was yelling his name I was worried. And I remember running up to people. I'm like, my son's missing, and people were just looking at me like, what do you want me to do?
What do you want me to do? Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what your kid looks like. There's a billion people. And I don't think people were being rude, but it was just literally like when it's that situation, I felt that for 3 minutes and I about died. When I found my kid after I was like, don't ever do that again. Don't ever. After I did that, I went and like sat down with him at a table, and like I was like, oh my God, I felt horrible. I felt tired, and just to know that some families are out there just steady feeling that like constant state of paralysis and fear. That's why we do this show, guys. We gotta. She says, so happy to see so many found safe.
Yeah, I've had to deal with it with my older daughter twice. Once when she was quite a bit younger than she is now, she had gone missing, and we were frantic. I had the police over here, and I got a flyer made and sent to the police department. And I mean, we were just frantic. And eventually she showed back up. She'd gone to a friend's house and just didn't bother to tell anybody. But I was so freaked out that when she did show back up, I leaned up against the wall out here in the hallway outside the apartment door, and I just sat there and cried. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then this last December, she took off from her mom's house about 1 o'clock in the morning to go hook up with some friends in the park that was closed because, they have a curfew in the park. Nobody in there between midnight and 6. And they were over there hanging out in the park. And my ex called me about 6 o'clock in the morning, said she's missing. Come help me find her. I said, get the police on the phone, get a report made. I'm on my way. Got over there and power of social media. I got on there and tracked him down, tracked his parents down, found out she definitely was with him, and told the police officer. And between me and the police officer, it took us a couple hours to find her, but we found her and brought her back to her mom's house. So,
well, that's
and now she lives with me.
On the wrong dad.
Yeah, now she lives with me, so I got my eye on her. Let me tell you what.
You're not the dad that disappeared with someone's kid. You're the guy. You're like, hey, I know.
And I told her that too. I said, you see what I will do if you do this. I will come find you with the police department with me. I will be looking for you. I'm not just going to sit at home and not. I will be looking.
Our new YouTube friend Tina says, I'm a lifelong Alaskan. When people go missing here, it is very rare to find them alive. It is cold and dangerous.
Wow.
Well, yeah, and you have so many hours of darkness there too. You have very few hours of daylight. So I bet you it probably makes it even harder, I would imagine.
Yeah. There's a lot of elements you got to worry about in Alaska that you don't really have to worry about so much in Kansas.
Oh, yeah.
Right. That's I think it's if you can just survive in that state, like, obviously, like, what was that? Into the Wild? That was in Alaska. I mean, that guy didn't make it. It's brutal out there.
Yeah, see, now you bring that up, Brandon. Thinking about Kenny Rychek's case, this last winter that we had, it was brutal. We had like wind chills between -30 and -50 below, and if he was trying to live out in the elements, homeless, I don't know how he could have
I don't
survived that.
understand how people live outside like that.
Yeah,
In
me
states that
either.
get that cold. I mean, it gets pretty cold in North Carolina. We don't really hit negative, double digits too often.
But
But
you get snow and ice.
yeah, we get snow and ice, and it's still cold, but never that high
Huh.
negative number like that.
Yeah.
I tell you what, this morning I had left my apartment to go to an appointment, and then I had to stop by a place that wasn't open yet. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go sit in the park for a little bit. So I drove over toward the park, and I was coming down this one street toward the park. And as I'm going down the street, I look to my right, and right before you get into the park, there's like an empty whole grassy area. But as I got near the park, I looked to my right, and there's like a tarp-looking tent set up there, really close to the where you go down into the river. I'm like, is that a homeless person? I didn't see anybody, but I saw this tarp-looking tent sitting there, and I'm just like, wow.
I mean, honestly, if they're prepared, they make sleeping bags that are good for like 10 below zero. You know, I mean, where there's a will, there's a way. But yeah, it's
and Dennis is saying Alaska's got the most missing people of any state in the U.S. And Tina's saying 24-hour darkness for at least 4 months on the Kenai Peninsula. Kenai, is it? Yeah, Kenai Peninsula.
Kenai Peninsula.
Wow. 24-hour darkness.
I think that would be hard
months.
to
I couldn't imagine living in total darkness for 4 months.
I think that would be hard to be able to get your spirits lifted up,
But I bet you get a good view of the northern lights and the aurora borealis up there.
Right.
That would be cool to see.
Hey, walking in my car when it's cold, I need a coat like they wear in Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah, I work outside in it, so I get a lot of different ways to stay warm.
I feel for you guys that have to work out in this stuff, like the utility workers, the street workers and all that, and garbage men and stuff, police officers and firefighters have to be out in it.
Yeah.
I feel for you guys, how you do it in the blistering cold and the really hot heat. Oh, I couldn't do it.
Come close to heat stroke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we're going to be back with a bunch of water. We're going to be back the 9th, everybody, and it's going to be at a different time for all of you. The same time, 9:00 Central, but the time is going to be changing before the next show
this week.
So it's going to change for me because I'm in Arizona where we do not observe time change. So I'm going to have an extra hour every show night before the show starts. And I already just twiddle my thumbs and video chat with Brandon for 3 hours before the show.
Well, I do all the production stuff. So
yeah. So there's going to be another 4th hour of hanging out with Brandon.
Oh, wow. Check this out. Tina saying in exchange, we get 24-hour daylight for 4 months during the summer. That's enough to drive you crazy. Yeah, it would.
Yeah, that would drive me crazy.
You probably have to black out every window in the house just so you can sleep.
Oh, yeah.
And Vista saying her stepdad lived in North Pole, Alaska, right down the street from Santa Claus Lane, but now he comes home for the winter, then back during the summer. That's cool. That's cool.
All right.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. And as Derek said, we'll be back Tuesday night, November 9th, after we fall back this weekend. Not sure I'm liking that because then we'll be getting dark about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
I'm happy with that. I'll get home earlier. They're like, you can't work in the dark. I'm like, okay.
Right. Oh, I bet the Northern Lights are gorgeous, Tina. I'd love to see them. But with that being said, everybody, you guys have a good night. You stay safe. God bless. We will see you Tuesday. Be careful out there.
If you or someone you know is experiencing a suicidal crisis or emotional distress, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255.